Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and a huge defeat for Levante at the hands of Villarreal as they get thrashed 5-1. And it's a big blow to their chances of survival and staying up in La Liga. It was, if I'm being very honest, it was quite an open game, quite an interesting game, quite an entertaining game. I think, the first half, I think Villarreal were on fire from the get-go. They put Levante under a lot of pressure. The way that they moved the ball, like, it was so good to watch Villarreal. I am a big fan of Villarreal. The way that they play football, it's always entertaining. And again today, the way that they moved the ball, they were so quick there with their passes, and they created good amount of chances in that first half. Their finishing was really poor. I mean, they could easily have been 4-0, 5-0 up in that first half, but they, as I said, they missed so many open chances, so many clear-cut chances in that first half, and that was really poor from Villarreal. But they got the reward that they needed. Mikato say he scores that first goal for Villarreal. He already missed like a couple of minutes before. It was an easy chance where he misses a chance, and then he scores and he makes up for it, and it becomes 1-0 to Villarreal. And Levante in that first half, I think they tried, they really tried. They had a go at Villarreal. It was not like Levante were just sitting back and inviting pressure. They played their game. They took their chances, they took their risk, and they put Villarreal under a bit of pressure. They created a couple of good chances themselves, Levante, but they were just not really able, to finish them off. As second half comes in, and they want to start it on the front foot in that second half. Again, the scoreline is going to say 5-1 and whatnot, but you need to give your flowers and you need to give your props to Levante, because it was not like a one-sided game. Because the second half started, and then Levante was, as I said, they were on the front foot. They pushed Villarreal quite back, and they scored that equalizer, and it become 1-0. And I think that's where sort of the inexperience of Levante, and the difference between the players showed up as well. Where Levante should have basically made sure that they hold on to that for a bit, for a little while, and then try to put Villarreal under pressure and try to frustrate them, and then try to hit them on the counter attack. Did not do that, and they continue to attack. I understand they needed 3 points to get off that bottom three, but sometimes a point is more valuable than no points. And unfortunately, Levante were not really able to do that. And another unfortunate thing for them was they really did not last that much to that the equalizing. They scored that equalizing around the 15-minute mark, and like 6-7 minutes later, Villarreal scored again, so it becomes a 2-1. And I think that was a big problem for them, because I think second half it was much more open as compared to that first half. And I think Villarreal took full advantage of that, because after scoring that second goal, Levante, they did everything in their power. They threw everybody forward, and they created so many chances in that second half, but they left spaces behind, and it the for Villarreal to exploit, and they exploited those chances. Murillo scores that goal, Pepe scores that goal, Buchanan scores that goal. So it was, everybody got a piece out of Levante today. And for Villarreal, it's a really good game. It's a really great outcome. You score five, at home, and the fans go happy, and the players, I get more confidence. It has been a really good season for Villarreal. They are gonna finish top three. I said that like 3 weeks ago, that for me, like the top four in La Liga are done. I don't think it's gonna change. I think the way it is, it's gonna finish. I like that, and I think Villarreal, it's a great season for Villarreal if they are gonna finish in the top three, and they are gonna qualify for the Champions League. That was the aim at the start of the season, and it has been quite a fun season. It could have been a bit better. Maybe they could have had a go and try to challenge for the title, but I still think with the way that they have played and what they have achieved, I think it is going to be considered a really good season for Villarreal. There's still about 4 games to go, but I'm really pretty sure, to be very honest with you, that they are going to finish in that third place. There might be a chance where they might eclipse Real Madrid and end up finishing in the top two, because Real Madrid form is all over the place. But at the moment, that third place, I am pretty sure they are going to be in that third place. Levante, on the other hand, they are going to be really disappointed, to be very honest with you, because as I said before, they really did not play bad. They played really good football. They were up until the dying moments of the game, they were creating chances, they were trying to score the goals. They really did not give up. It was just their chances that they were just not able to finish those chances. And Villarreal, despite missing so many chances, I mean, it was a game of missing chances, because both sides missed a lot of chances, and it just felt it was like the more Villarreal were scoring the goals, the more Levante were getting desperate, and the more they were going forward, and they were giving Villarreal, the chances to go ahead and score the goals. And I think that is the inexperience of Levante coming into play, because if you would have had an experienced side, they would not have done that. And I think that is going to be a big problem for them, because they have lost that. They, if they would have drawn that game, they would have gone like 18th position. They have lost the game. They are 19 in the league, and that goal difference is going to play a huge role, because the difference between points is not that much. At the end of the day, after 38 games, that goal difference could prove to be so important. So for them to give away 4 extra goals, that -4, it is gonna play an effect. I am pretty sure, because of how tight the game is, how tight the league is, and the point difference between them and the other teams is not that much. So for them to go ahead and concede 4 goals, where they could have easily, as I said, at 1 or at 2-1, even at 3-1, the manager should have been, you should have told his players that, okay, it feels like that we are going to lose the game, so make sure that you don't go ahead and concede extra goals, and affect our goal difference. But they don't they did not do that, and they try to go ahead and get the win. I sort of understand, at 1-all I understand, at 2-1 also I understand there is a chance that you can get a point out of that game. But at 3-1, I think the manager and the senior players of the team need to make a decision, and need to realize, okay, we are not going to win the game, but we need to make sure that we don't concede that many goals. For Levante, unfortunately, it did not happen, and they've conceded, for me, silly goals. If I'm being very honest with you, the fourth and fifth goal were quite avoidable, and they could have easily just accepted at that, because there was not that much time. If I'm being very honest with you, I think, if I'm not wrong, Buchanan scores that goal in the 74th, 75th minute, so they could have just consolidated in the last 10-15 minutes, try to keep the ball and try to hit Villarreal on the counter attack, instead of going going all out, and then conceding extra 2 goals. I think that could turn out to be a big problem for Levante. It is, they've lost the game. They are in that 19th position, but I think the way that they have lost the game, it is going to be quite disappointing, because you have played a really good game, and then when people are going to look at the scoreline, I personally feel the scoreline does not do justice to Levante, because I think it was a much more closer game up until that the third goal goes in. I think Levante was still in that game, and they were giving troubles to Villarreal. Even right as it up until the right at the end of the game, they were creating chances, but they were just not really able to finish the game off. For Real, as I said before, for Villarreal, great win, massive 3 points, and it's looking like it's going to be quite an entertaining end to the season. For Levante, they now just need to hope that the results for the other teams who are around them in that relegation battle go their ways, because if not, the gap could start to increase between them and the teams above them. So they really would hope that the other teams lose as well and drop points as well. That's for me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, what you guys thought of Villarreal's performance, and what you guys thought of Levante's thought process as well. And do you think Levante are done, or do you think they still have a chance of staying up? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers before the end of the season. About a month remaining for the season to end, and about 40 subscribers remaining, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.